Hello and welcome to today's video. So as you can see, I've got a massive box on my table, and inside this box is a classic vintage He-Man Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull playset. So what many collectors would consider the absolute pinnacle of their collection, and I'm absolutely delighted to be getting one of these to have a look at today. Now, it's come from a friend of mine called Tom. He has a fellow YouTube channel called Yub Nub Toys, where he does live auctions of vintage Star Wars toys predominantly, but he also has a companion Facebook page where he puts up all manner of vintage toys, and that's where this one's come from. So we're going to get this one out. I believe it's 100% complete. There were a couple of bits missing, but I've got those, so it will be 100% complete by the time we finish with it. But it does need a bit from the original owner, so it needs a bit of a clean and a tidy up, and we're going to get it assembled. I've even got some figures to go with it as well, so it should be a great video. So without further ado then, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. So let's get this one unpacked. I'm hoping it should just come out the top. Plenty of packaging. There he is. All right. Ta-da! Look at this, wowee. So, certainly some creative packaging in there, wasn't there? Got some figures as well, bits and pieces that go with this one. Lots in here, isn't there? So I believe that's everything. Yeah, that looks like the lot. All important instruction booklet there, base and the trapdoor. Got a few figures that came with this one, and I have got a couple more to put with it as well. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, there's lots of little pieces. There's that ammunition rack and things like this. So there's lots of little bits that do need to be looked after. Here is said ammunition rack, and all of this can have a bit of a clean and tidy up to get it looking absolutely as good as possible. This has got lots of like vintage dirt and stuff in there, but nothing we can't do. So that's all those bits. Here's the flag and some of the weapons pack. All of this is going to be replaced. I've got some replacement ones of those organised. That's the weapons over there. And some more weapons there. There we are. Brilliant. Cool. Well, I'll just get all of that rearranged. I think we'll have a closer look at that little lot. Okay, so I've got first step out. So just to recap then, these are a couple of like the base pieces, and we've got the original instructions here. There's He-Man's throne, and there's like the weapons rack and the bits and pieces that go with that. There's also a few figures over there as well, which is cool. Looking at the box here, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. It's a pretty epic item, isn't it? Look at that. The box art alone is just incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. So this is the one which is the European version, so it's got like, it's the equivalent of a Star Wars tri-logo, I suppose. It's got Italian and Spanish writing on, as well as English. And well, we're going to pull it all out now. Now, as you can see, if you look at like this bit in particular, you can sort of see in all the grooves there, you can see like layers of dust and dirt. That's literally because it's from an original owner, and I absolutely love original owner toys because you know, some kids had this one, and he's had it, you know, perhaps for years, played with it, enjoyed it. It's been out on display probably to get that level of dust, but it can certainly have a new lease of life, and that's exactly what we're going to give it today. So I'm going to pull all the bits out. I'm going to clean them all, and that involves basically taking all the plastic to the sink and going through them with a toothbrush and cleaning it up as best I can, drying it out, and then we'll get the actual Castle Grayskull assembled, and we'll have a look at it. So and we'll also need to have a look at this box. And it's all there, all the flaps are there, but it's got a layer of dust all the way over it, and that's going to be something that, once again, it will come up gleaming once we've finished with it. But at the moment it is a little on the dusty side, but boy, that artwork is fantastic. What a great illustration on the side of that box. Superb, isn't it? So here's a bit more of a close-up look of everything that we're going to put through the washer in a minute. So these are all the bits of plastic. Obviously I'm going to be very careful around sort of the printed bits there on the trapdoor. The figures aren't too bad, a bit dusty as you would expect, so I'm going to be carefully brushing those. But as you can see, there's a level of dirt and dust on this which very much will be improved if I put it through the sink, which is not going to hurt. Grayskull itself is appalling. Look at the level of dust and dirt on that. However, it's going to come up absolutely lovely, and some might say, you know, it actually adds an air of authenticity to it, but it's going to be great, and it will come up absolutely fine. It's a very simple technique. Just going to be rubbing these with a soft toothbrush in some warm soapy water, and these will come up absolutely gleaming. So it's really worth looking at like a before and after on these, because you can sort of see the level of dust and dirt on that. It's just incredible. Right then, so I've got my hot soapy water. There we are. And what I'm intending to do, the bits that are completely plastic with no stickers on, they can be completely sort of submerged without any sort of incident. So I'm going to put all of those bits in, and they can just be soaking. This is that really dirty sort of weapons rack. Now, in my family, my brother-in-law, Paul, is perhaps the biggest Masters of the Universe fan I know. In fact, when I saw him recently, I went round and he was sporting a rather cool Masters of the Universe t-shirt. And I said, it's funny you should be wearing that, because you never believe what I've got. And he was very excited. So, ultimately, I would like him to be the first person to actually see this video. So I'm going to get it edited and post it early, and then send it to him along with my patrons. I'm going to make this a Patreon only video initially, just for the first sort of week or so, once I've got it up and loaded. And then I'm hoping Paul, who's got a fantastic collection of Masters of the Universe, he's actually lent me a really nice He-Man and Skeletor figure for when we've got Castle Grayskull assembled. just to really sort of finish it off, and it should be looking great. So I'm hoping that Paul is going to actually add this Castle Grayskull to his Masters of the Universe collection, because I know he's got loads of it anyway, but he hasn't actually got that key piece. And I guess for Masters of the Universe collectors, Castle Grayskull is the equivalent of, you know, the Star Wars Death Star. It's like the ultimate playset, or certainly one of them, isn't it? So I'm hoping he's going to really enjoy that. Right, so that's all of those bits. Now these other bits have actually been submerged, so these should be already well on their way to being clean. Right, so while the bits and pieces are drying, I'm going to attempt to just tidy up the box a little bit here. Now, he's certainly not too bad, but this end flap where the toy has been in and out of the box has certainly come under a bit of wear and tear, but it is all there. The only bit I'm really worried about is this one here, which is slightly falling off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just Pritt stick that bit down, and hopefully that will keep it in situ and not get it any worse. It is quite tricky to get to, this one, because it's almost like a closed tear. There we are. It should sort that bit out. And there's a similar one in here, but that one is even harder to get to, so I'm just going to get a little screwdriver to pop that one in. So it doesn't take much. I just grab a sort of a little screwdriver here, and then I can slip this into like little closed tears. So that one there, I can get the glue in that way, right into the edge, and then like that. There we are. As I said, it's nothing serious, but it is just going to give it a bit slightly better eye appeal. I mean, it has got the sort of the tear along there, so that is what it is. But once the toy's been sort of boxed up, it'll be, I don't think it's going to affect things too badly. I don't think it warrants putting an extra level of tape in there, to be honest. So what we'll do now then, we'll get the box actually assembled with the lid shut, and we'll go over it and give it a darn good clean, because that's definitely what it needs now, because it is very, very dusty. I guess it's probably never been done in all these years. There we are. So it really is an impressive bit of box art, that, isn't it? I mean, it really is absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do, it's a shame that bit's poking out, but I might be able to play around with that once I've got the box clean a bit, make it so that it stops popping out there. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop some polish onto this soft cloth rather than spraying it directly onto the box, and then this will just give it a nice bit of sheen, and it's going to be taking off, believe me, an invisible layer of dust and dirt which has built up over the years on this one. Absolutely inevitable that would happen. Yeah, look at that. So very, very difficult to discern on such a dark box, but believe me, it's there. These used to be quite common loose as a toy. You used to see them all the time, but not so much these days. Very much got quite scarce now, and highly, highly desirable. And if Masters of the Universe is your thing, then obviously you're going to want one of these. That top flap wasn't too bad actually, so I don't think I'm going to need to give that much of a polish. Just the dust and the dirt. It must have been stored with Castle Grayskull face up like that, because that was the side definitely that had the most dust and dirt on it. This is the last side now. A nice little picture of what it's supposed to look like there on the front as well. Lovely. Castle Grayskull, fortress of mystery and power for He-Man and his foes. Awesome. Truly impressive item, that. Excellent stuff. Well, I thought now's probably a good time to have a look at the instruction booklet. So this one is one of those ones that actually folds out like a poster. So there we are. It's really detailed in actual fact, this one. Double-sided. Has a look at some of the other He-Man figures and accessories that you could get. Tells you how best to store Castle Grayskull. Pretty cool. He-Man with his weapons rack there. That'll be handy. And then this is what's on the other side. This shows you where all the different bits and pieces are supposed to go, which will be very handy for me because it's been a long time since I've had one of these in my hands. Now, on the one that I got, there were a few bits that are going to need replacing. One of them was the flag, so I've got the flag pole. The flag, which I've saved, was really worn. So on my friend Dave's channel, Toy Polloy, he has got a couple of download sheets that you can get for anything that you might be missing on your Castle Grayskull. So there is the flag piece there. There's like the trapdoor, but our trapdoor is okay. There's a few other stickers and bits and bobs there as well, which you might want to replace. And then on here, these are like 3 bits of cardboard, which you can cut out and back onto cardboard. And these are then, those 3 pieces are dotted around the castle as well. So those ones we should also have a look at and make sure we've got nice copies of. Okay then, so here are the bits that I've got from Dave's website, and I'm just going to quite loosely cut this piece down because I've got a piece of cardboard which I'm going to glue these stickers onto. As I said, the Castle Grayskull that I got, I believe, comes with one of these, but it's so poor condition, as they all have ended up being, that I don't really want to use it on this one. So let's give this one a gum down, as it were, and then we'll be able to back it onto this cardboard here nice and firmly, and then cut it out, and we'll be able to use it in our playset. This will be like one of the finishing touches to it. There we are. I think that's sufficiently glued. Let's put that right into the middle there. Make sure it's nice and flat. Yeah, it feels pretty good. So when that's completely dry in a sec, I shall cut around that and get those looking as good as possible. Now the other thing you can get off today's website is this. So these are all the different pieces that you might need in your restoration of a Castle Grayskull. So once again, I'm just going to go quite roughly through, cut these down into their basic components, and then a bit more accurately cut them down properly. But they're on handy A4 sheets, which is pretty handy stuff, isn't it? And as I said, I'm not going to need all of these, but I will use some just because they're there and they're going to look better. So I'm going to quickly cut those out now. So there you go, there's all the bits that have been cut out. I mean, you may not need them all, like I don't really need them all on mine, but it's nice to have a set of replacement sort of bits and pieces. These are the most delicate pieces in the entire playset because they perish. It's as simple as that. They're only like stickers, all made of paper or cardboard. So good news is they are easily replaced, and we can reuse these in our Castle Grayskull. So don't forget, just get those from Dave's website, toypolloi.com. So now all the pieces have been dried off and they're not looking too bad at all. So now comes the task of assembling it all, which is probably going to take me a good half an hour or so. But I'm going to have a look at it as we go along, and then we'll have a look at the finished article and see just how cool it's looking. But yeah, as I said, I believe everything is here. It's just a matter of assembling it now. So there we are. That's taken me well, the best part of half an hour to assemble Castle Grayskull there, but I pretty much believe it's as complete as we can get it now. So I just wanted to show you this before I added some action figures to it, which will obviously really bring it to life. So as you can see, we've got the sort of on the right there, we've got the gun turret, we've got the brilliant sort of weapons rack, and then the elevator system here, which is held in place by the gargoyle, and then you can raise that up to a level like so. You've got the trapdoor there with the throne room, and you can see the cutouts I've put in place now. These are the reproduction cutouts because they were missing from this particular example of Castle Grayskull, right up into the flag on the sort of the top floor there as well. Absolutely fantastic. It all sort of fits together. So all we really need to do is add some original He-Man figures, and this playset is really going to come to life. So there we are. I've added a few original action figures to this beauty now. Now I have to say, the Skeletor and He-Man himself were loaned to me by my brother-in-law, Paul, who I believe is probably going to end up getting this this particular Castle Grayskull. There's a couple of extra figures that he might be glad of as well. Now, this wasn't 100% perfect, so the throne very much needs a bit of, I would say I'd almost be tempted to look for a replacement, but the mechanism does work, the trapdoor and that. We were missing one like level there, plastic level there, but that's certainly cheap and cheerful off eBay. And that was about it. Apart from that, it's all there and it's all original and it's all working, which is great, great news. Absolutely great. Great playset this, and lots of value. I suppose in a way it does remind me of the American Kenner Death Star playset, sort of on the levels, but this one sort of opens out, so quite a palaver, I would think, to put away in the box each time, which is probably why these were probably kept out and ended up getting so dusty. But this one's come out really, really nice, as you can see. And I didn't use all my reproduction stickers at all. In fact, I didn't use any of those. I did just use the cardboard cutouts there, which have come up perfect, absolutely perfect. So here we've got Castle Grayskull now firmly within Paul's collection. He's added all his other figures and playsets and stuff to it, and it does look absolutely amazing. I have to say, it's a real crown jewel of his collection. I'm sure you'll agree. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this rather lovely Castle Grayskull. Certainly a brilliant playset, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage toy videos. I've got quite a bit on my channel already, predominantly Star Wars, and I've got lots more still to come. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.